Dans cette vidéo, nous allons nous concentrer sur le mot « finale ». Comment apprendre? Écoutez attentivement, répétez après le locuteur et pratiquez pour parler naturellement. Commençons à apprendre de manière simple et efficace. Enfin, nous pouvons rentrer.
Finally, we can go home. Finally, we can go home.
Enfin, c'est vendredi.
Finally, it's Friday. Finally, it's Friday.
Enfin, le dîner est prêt.
Finally, dinner is ready. Finally, dinner is ready.
Enfin, elle a répondu à mon appel.
Finally, she answered my call. Finally, she answered my call.
Enfin, le film commence maintenant.
Finally, the movie starts now. Finally, the movie starts now.
Enfin, j'ai corrigé le bug.
Finally, I fixed the glitch. Finally, I fixed the glitch.
Enfin, elle a nettoyé la chambre.
Finally, she cleaned the room. Finally, she cleaned the room.
Enfin, les enfants dorment.
Finally, the kids are asleep. Finally, the kids are asleep.
Enfin, elle nous a rejoints aujourd'hui.
Finally, she joined us today. Finally, she joined us today.
Enfin, nous avons eu le bus.
Finally, we caught the bus. Finally, we caught the bus.
Enfin, ma commande est arrivée.
Finally, my order arrived. Finally, my order arrived.
Enfin, il m'a répondu.
Finally, he texted me back. Finally, he texted me back.
Enfin, je peux faire une pause.
Finally, I can take a break. Finally, I can take a break.
Enfin, la circulation s'est dégagée.
Finally, the traffic cleared up. Finally, the traffic cleared up.
Enfin, elle est arrivée à l'heure.
Finally, she arrived on time. Finally, she arrived on time.
Enfin, nous avons trouvé les clés.
Finally, we found the keys. Finally, we found the keys.
Enfin, les lumières se sont allumées.
Finally, the lights turned on. Finally, the lights turned on.
Enfin, il a payé l'addition.
Finally, he paid the bill. Finally, he paid the bill.
Enfin, nous avons de nouveau Internet.
Finally, we have internet again. Finally, we have internet again.
Enfin, quelqu'un m'a remarqué.
Finally, someone noticed me. Finally, someone noticed me.
Enfin, ils ont réparé la fuite.
Finally, they fixed the leak. Finally, they fixed the leak.
Enfin, je termine le travail.
Finally, I'm off work. Finally, I'm off work.
Enfin, la neige s'est arrêtée.
Finally, the snow stopped. Finally, the snow stopped.
Enfin, j'ai terminé le livre.
Finally, I finished the book. Finally, I finished the book.
Enfin, le soleil brille.
Finally, the sun is shining. Finally, the sun is shining.
Enfin, mon café est chaud.
Finally, my coffee is hot. Finally, my coffee is hot.
Enfin, ils ont ouvert le magasin.
Finally, they opened the store. Finally, they opened the store.
Enfin, je me suis souvenu de ton nom.
Finally, I remembered your name. Finally, I remembered your name.
Enfin, nous nous sommes rencontrés.
Finally, we met at last. Finally, we met at last.
Enfin, le test est terminé.
Finally, the test is over. Finally, the test is over.
Enfin, je me suis fait couper les cheveux.
Finally, I got a haircut. Finally, I got a haircut.
Enfin, notre repas est arrivé.
Finally, our food is here. Finally, our food is here.